Welcome to another top five video. Today we're going to be joined by Angelis to be talking about her top five films of 2017. This has been a series we're doing as we're slowly getting to the end of the decade. Of course, each number one pick gets a slot in our tourney for the decade in review for all that film. Thank you guys for listening to this, and thank you, Angelis, for joining us.
Hi, hey, thank you for having me in this top five.
Yeah, and you got the lucky pick of the wildly, insanely deep year of 2017. Crazy stacked year for
Yeah,
films.
I think it was a good year for movies because we had very good movies, like superhero movies. We had Logan, we had Ragnarok by Taika, um, we had Spider-Man: Homecoming, and also good thrillers and horrors like Killing of a Sacred Deer, It Comes at Night, November, Thelma. So yeah, I think it was a very good year for
I
movies.
think for me, I was looking at it. I'm trying to figure out. This might be the deepest because I consider like usually I'm like okay, right around because I love movies differently. But like if something's like an 8 out of 10 for me, it's like oh hey, this is like in some way it's a favorite of mine. I'd sort of say, and I think this year has the most out of eights that I've seen. I think I was looking at it, and we're going to get into this with Angelis's ratings. But I was looking at mine, and I didn't actually give out a 10 out of 10 for 2017. Which like there's tons of films that are very close. It has like a decent amount of nines for me, but I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because there's a couple of years that have like two. I think one year has three. But Angelis, if you want to get into honorable mentions, if you have any others.
Oh yeah, my honorable mentions will be the Killing of a Sacred. No, wait, can I do it again?
No, you're good.
Sorry.
Good.
I felt like I was in Watch Mojo, and it's like now for honorable mentions. And
You're good.
okay, so my honorable mentions, I think it will be the Killing of a Sacred Deer, um, Good Time, Paddington 2, and obviously Blade Runner 2049.
Of course, yeah, great honorable mentions. And we're going to get right on to your list with number five.
Okay, in no particular order, my top five will be the most popular one in this list is Get Out by Jordan Peele. I really love that movie. I think it's a really solid horror film. I don't know what you think about it.
I really like Get Out. I wasn't as high on it the first time I watched it, and I think part of that is just because films create hype, and this hype wave, and different people ride it different ways. Like you just hear Get Out, oh my god, it's like some people said, oh, it's life changing, and I think those expectations sort of hindered my watch going into it. And you know, on a second watch, I was like, oh no, this really is something special. I just sometimes you go into it would be like if you were going into a restaurant and everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's the best food ever! It's the best food ever." Then you eat it and you're like, "Oh man, this is a great dish," but like I don't
It's
know if
not
it's
the
the
best.
best food. Yeah.
Yeah, like it can be overhyped, but I really love the way Jordan Peele did the symbolisms and everything. I really like how it's made.
I also think that film's more fun going back to on a rewatch. I know there's not a lot like of films that I'm like, oh, I had a better experience on a second time through this. But that one actually is one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, I think the second one it's a Thai film called Bad Genius.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I mean the premise it's not that interesting. It's just like high school kids cheating on their exams, but I don't know. The suspense is so well made in this movie that I mean, if you're on before your you should watch it before your midterms, before your finals, because I don't know. This makes a school look cool. Okay, that's the only thing I'm saying. I really love this one. I don't know if you've seen this.
I have not, and one thing I want to tell the listeners real quick, I have been told to watch this. But one thing I was just going to throw out is this film's available on Netflix. So it's great that you can immediately go and check this out. But yeah, no, I'm really interested for this, especially as someone who's in college right now, about to take final exams.
Yeah, it's a funny like short experience about this. I was in my midterms last week, and I was doing like a calculus exam, and I thought of this movie. I was like, oh man, I wish I could cheat like these kids, and it was so funny. Yeah, I think it's really grown up on me, this movie, and yeah, it's a very interesting and thrilling film. I
I
think everyone.
definitely understand that. Great pick. I'll be watching it probably after finals. Maybe it won't have the same impact.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's really good.
But
And
what's going to be your number 3?
well, here it comes. Animation. Yeah, these
Animation
three,
domination now.
like actually the top three is animated movies. So yeah, yeah. On the third place, I have Loving Vincent. Not so much because of the story, but because it's the first fully painted movie, and yeah, I think it's like so eye catching, and the cinematography is gorgeous.
For sure. Yeah, no, this is one that if I go to someone and I'm like, "Hey, this is why," and like there's so many films that you can do this with, but I just turn to this and I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is why animation like needs to be thrived and appreciated because things like like I don't know how to handle this, but like visual effects, like what Loving Vincent is doing visually, like almost no live action films can even fathom competing with. At least like in my eyes, just because like every like I don't mean this I mean this literally. Every frame is a painting, like a
Yeah.
a full blown like awesome painting that's so full of depth and life. And I know some people, and I'm sure you have it at number 3, so I'm sure this wasn't a great for you. I know some people don't necessarily love the story, so if you're going into it, it's not really about what you think it would be, and I found that fascinating on my watch. But I don't know if that's the same thing that happened to you, Angelis.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it will be like live action, I wouldn't like it so much. But as you said, like you said, it's because the animation is so like refreshing and original that I mean, it literally is a work of art. Like every
Yeah,
frame is a painting. So yeah, I love this movie just because of that. Because I don't know, it's so innovative.
for sure. And just for U.S. listeners to know, that is available on Hulu for free.
Oh, it's available on Netflix South America.
Oh, gotcha.
If there are any Latin listeners here.
So, Angelis, what do you have for your number 2?
My second pick it's 90 Short Walk on Girl.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, I love this. I saw it recently. I saw it like la- um last week. I don't remember, but this was so great. I gave it a 9 out of 10. But yeah, I just can't stop thinking about this movie. It's an anime film, and it's great. Like it's plotless. It doesn't have like a plot or anything. It's just like a bunch of crazy
It's
situations.
just a crazy one night
Yeah,
movie. That's
it's it's amazing. I don't
yeah,
know.
because we talk about brilliant animation for Loving Vincent, and this is no different. Like it's so stylized and really trying so many different things that I really appreciate when I see in an animated film because they've like there's enough here where they just could have been straight up charming, just only with the story and like how zany it is. If you keep like a similar animated style, I think people still enjoy this, but they went above and beyond to create different, textures for different scenarios, different styles. Like they called on a lot of different things that I really appreciated.
Yeah, it's like the style changes throughout the movie, and I feel it's kind of an experimental type of anime. But yeah, it's so wild and it's so funny. It's amazing. I really recommend this movie.
And there's one I if you guys can see this, please do. I was actually able to see it in the theaters, which was tons of fun. But there's one
Whoa.
motif in this film that I think is like one of the best uses of that. I won't say what because I actually do think it's a little spoilery, but I'll mention to Annalise when we get done. But
Yes,
Annalise,
please.
What is
Drums,
your
please.
number one?
Okay, my number one. It's a really unknown movie. It's French. It's called The Big Bad Fox and Other Tales, and it's by the same director of Ernst and Celestine.
Yep.
So it's 2D animation, but it's so wholesome. I swear, this movie, like, it makes me happy every time I see it because it's amazing. I just can't explain it. It's amazing. I'm really like smiling right now. I'm thinking of this movie and I can't help but smile.
That's completely fair. Yeah, Evan actually, not the Evan you know, my friend Evan actually brought up Ernest and Celestine on his 2012 video, which, funnily enough, also had 3 animated films in the top 5.
Oh my god.
Um,
Hi Evan.
yeah, but yeah, no, this was one that hadn't even been on my radar. I can't wait to check this out now. Even it being in the tourney, like so many people are going to see it. I'm following about like 500. I'm not saying this like, ooh, I'm cool, but like I'm following about like 500-ish people on Letterboxd, and the only person that has seen it out of my followers is Angelis. And I think it's really fun, like when this happens, when we do the year in or the year top 5 videos, and you get something like this, even to an extent, like I knew what the separation was, but Turtle nominated that, and then immediately I'm like, oh, okay, I should watch the separation now. And I watched it and was blown away.
Yeah. That's a
And
great movie.
yeah, and it has decently high rate. Like the Big Bad Fox has a 3.6, but
Yeah.
I think there never was like a push for whatever reason for me to check this out, and now like I have that.
Yeah, it's very unknown. Actually, like I think just 1,000 people have watched this. It's really unknown. I don't know why, because Ernst and Celestine was a very popular movie. It even received an Oscar nomination. So I think the Big Bad Fox like deserve more attention for
For
that.
sure. And one thing I just sort of want to throw out real quick, I could be completely wrong, and this might just be a shot in the dark. But typically, I think the likes for a film are like a little bit lower than this. It has 1,100 views, so 1,100 views, or yeah, people that have seen it. But it has 308 likes, which is a crazy high like ratio for the amount of people that really are big fans of this.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, that wraps up our video for 2017. So the pick is going to be The Big Bad Fox and Other Tales. If you guys want to check out, the other films that have made the tourney, feel free to do so at allthatfilmpodcast.wordpress.com. I think we're up to 25. Additionally, if you follow us on Twitter at allthatfilmpod, we have a fan vote going on right now, where it's voted on the fans, and the top 10 votes are the ones that are going to get into the tourney. I believe what's currently winning is like Phantom Thread. I know 2 Yorgos films are making it at the moment, with The Favorite and The Lobster. It's been a really interesting thing to see develop. But yeah, check that out if you guys want to vote on that. I'll have those linked below. Also, if you want to check out any of our other top 5 videos, I'll probably have that ending this video. Thank you, Angelis.
Thank you. Hey.
And that's a top 5. Bye.
Bye.